Let me testify. It's gonna be the year that I break every cycle. Let me testify, right hand on the Bible. I was tripping, chasing every empty title. Now I'm locked in, living like a walking Bible.
Okay, listeners, some of y'all say that you're setting boundaries, but you're really just avoiding people. That's what you're doing. The wild part is you have all the language to justify it. I'm protecting my peace. I'm sorry, I don't have the capacity right now. That's my favorite. I like that one. I use it often too. I'm not dealing with that.
Thanks.
But some of that ain't peace. It's just discomfort that you don't want to sit in, that you don't want to actually deal with. Last episode, if you didn't listen to it, go ahead, pause this one, go on back, because we talked about what happens when you stop performing. Now we need to talk about what happens next. What comes next after you realize who you are when you're not giving your all, when you're not producing something. When you can't hide behind productivity, now you actually have to be present in your relationships, in your job, and all of the things that people are asking of you. And instead of staying in the space where you shut down, you go quiet, you walk away, or you just vent to your girlfriend on the side about it. Now we're calling it that boundary. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the Yes Work Podcast. We are your hosts. I am Dr. Blair.
Lady B. I am Dr. DQ.
So again, this is a continuation of last week's conversation because when performance is no longer your identity, you have to learn how to relate without control. And for a lot of us, because again, we living in our excellence, Black girl magic over here, and all the other magic that women have, right? That's where things start to break down. So this is a space where we're not just talking about alignment with God. This is not just theory. Baby, we got to do the practice. So we're looking at how it shows up in real conversations, in real relationships, in real reactions and responses to people. So if this already feels like it's a little too real for you, that's all right. Go ahead, sit down. Follow the podcast, share it with someone because you done thought of somebody's name. It done popped in your mind already. The spirit is convicting. Go ahead, send it to someone who says they have boundaries, but you know they really just trying to disappear and avoid. It's okay. They'll say thank you afterwards. Go ahead and send it. Like it. This episode is going to be for you if you shut down when conversations get uncomfortable. If you say, I'm fine to end the moment, you've mastered distance, but unfortunately not clarity, and you out here calling it peace, but you're disconnected from people. So we're not here asking if you have boundaries because we recognize that we do. What we want you to think about is, are you using boundaries to honor your relationships or to avoid them? Baby, we here for it. Let's dive in.
We diving in, and let me tell y'all something. I came prepared
We prepared.
today because y'all keep reading me on these episodes. Last episode 13 was just like, and then I want to say 12 as well. And now today, because I'm preparing for this episode, and I'm like, listen, let me go on and get this cocoa butter right here, right now, because I am being stretched, y'all. I had to go and find the cocoa butter. Oh my goodness. Because listen, today I'm excited just to have this conversation. We already started talking about this conversation or this topic prior to recording, but sis, ladies, friends, okay, we can no longer just ignore this truth. This is one of those truths that we just have to say out loud. We can't ignore this anymore. A lot of us, myself included, are not overextended because people demand too much from us. We're overextended because we keep saying yes to everything. Hello, am I talking to anybody?
Me.
Or am I just talking to myself?
Listen, and they're saying
Right.
yes to the wrong thing because I don't want them to get twisted and say, well, yeah, this podcast is yes work. We saying say yes to the Lord.
Listen, some of us are overextended because we keep saying yes to everything and not always out of pressure, but sometimes it's because we genuinely want to do it, right? We care. We're capable. We know we can handle it. I know there's things out there. I'm like, yeah, I got this. I can handle it. But what we don't always stop and ask ourselves, should I? Is this what God is calling me to do? So we end up busy, we end up overcommitted, we end up showing up for everyone else but ourselves, or we gonna put ourselves last. And that's slowly draining ourselves. And the tension here is that we think that we're being loving, but we're actually being unboundaried. That means we have no boundaries. Yes, I had to look it up. That's a word.
It sure
It's a
is.
word, and that comes with a cost. It comes with a price because every yes to everything is usually a no to yourself somewhere. Yes,
I mean, it's
so
not
I
good, but what
want
you said was good. Yeah.
it's not good because it's so many of us that are saying yes to any and everything. We love to have this little opening question to pose to the group and kinda see where people are. And I wanted to ask these ladies, just thinking about it, when you say yes to things, are you deciding from clarity or from capacity? Imma let you think on that a little bit while I kinda break it down. Because for me, I had to go in and really look at, "Okay, now what's really the difference here, and where do I fall?" So, just for our listeners, capacity means I can do it. I got it. I have the skills, I have the time, or or a lot of us will even say, "I'll make the time." I'm
Mhm.
capable
Yes.
and I can figure it out. And this is where a lot of us, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, a lot of us tend to live in this particular area. Or are you operating from clarity where you're saying, I'm supposed to do it? This is aligned with where God has me right now, or this fits my current season. So, this means that you have to evaluate where you are, take a step back, see if this is aligning with God's will for your life, or you have peace about it, or you were saying that I'm not forcing it or I'm not squeezing it in. So this is, when you're talking about clarity, this is where God wants you. That's where God wants you to decide from. So the real difference, just to put it back out there again. So capacity is asking, can I handle this? Clarity is asking, is this mine to carry right now? And I'm gonna tell y'all, like, this was a tough one for me. That's why I had to bring out the cocoa butter for because I'm being stretched and I was already convicted just preparing for this podcast episode today. So I'm gonna just open it up, throw it back to you all and see what you think, Dr. DQ, Dr. Blair.
This is a tough one, okay? Because first I'm like, "Well, when do I say no?" And I am very much so one of those people that will make time if it's something I value, something I want to do, but things do shift and I recognize shift and I go with the flow. I think or I pray that subconsciously I'm operating out of clarity because I am also prioritizing rest as we have talked about over the last few episodes. So I don't know. That's not fair. Lady B, you had time to process this question and I didn't. How you
Mm.
gonna just toss us out there like that?
Stop. I'm already overextended, so I had to prepare.
I was not ready. You gave me a pop quiz on a podcast.
That's
Oh.
real. Just so y'all know this is so real. You know what? I just literally thought of a situation at work with one of my direct reports. And I wrote down, I got a whiteboard desk, y'all. I wrote down when to say no and in
Wait,
what
I know.
area.
Wait, hold on.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
sorry. What is that?
Why didn't we know this?
Y'all know I love organization and sticky notes. My desk is a whiteboard. It's a whiteboard. I take notes physically on my desk. It's a whiteboard desk.
I've never even seen anything like that.
Take a picture and send it.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
That's
I can always look at Dr. Blair for ideas on how to upgrade my life in one way
Girl,
or another.
I'm telling you.
I never thought I would need a whiteboard desk until I heard about it just
Right
now. Girl.
now.
Yeah,
It's
we
like
had to
all
pause you
things
on that one
blend
because
in
we
one. I'm a Post-it note girl, so I would love, like, if I had, and a whiteboard girl, so if I had a whiteboard desk, I don't need my Post-it notes. I could just be writing little notes
Do
everywhere, girl.
both.
Oh
I
my,
do both.
okay.
I do both. And now
Okay.
I have corners where it's like, this is what I wanna see all the time, so I know not to erase over there, and then this is where I, like, actively, like, write
See,
and
this stuff makes
yeah,
me happy.
yes.
I love it. Okay, sorry.
Y'all are
Thank you for
amazing.
that short commercial break.
Yes!
That was a break.
I love it.
I don't know the brand of that desk, but we might need to promote it.
Got you. It came from Costco. But I wrote down that, again, thinking and reflecting back to my situation with my direct report, when to say no, and specifically in what areas is it acceptable to say no? Because, and I'll give you some context, and I believe in people exercising their agency all day, every day, as well as autonomy. And I had a situation where my report told me something that they weren't going to do that was a part of their job. I said, "Oh, um, you can't really exercise agency when it comes to like your job description and your role. I give you autonomy to do it the way that you would like to, right? Let me know your capacity, right, to do things. But talk about clarity. You need to understand that this is a part of the expectation of your job that's paying your bills. So you trying to live in this space of capacity, but the clarity should have let you know that you can't give a no right now. So I had to have this coaching conversation around like what that looks like and the expectation. And it made me think of like at work, especially after COVID, y'all, everybody's go to, I don't have the capacity. I don't have the bandwidth. I love it
Yeah.
too. I say it all the time. I don't think I have the bandwidth to do that, to add that to my list as of right now. So we now exercise that a little bit more in work, but that used to be a place where we would be like, I can't say no. This is my job, it's paying my bills, to support my families, etc. Friends and family. That's also sometimes a space where people struggle with the setting of boundaries and saying no. Baby, so hey, whoo, this is, and I will double click on what Dr. DQ said. This is a difficult one.
It is.
Because I think about with my children, and it's very rarely a no. It is a let's see, let's think about it, not right now. There are times where I'm like, no, we not getting ice cream today. It's randomly Wednesday night. No, but otherwise, I think about my role and what I present to them, for them, how I'm responsible to them, for them. And I think that clarity then overlaps with and gets entangled. It's an entanglement. It's an entanglement. It gets mixed up. The clarity and the capacity, it's hard to separate that with certain roles. And so yeah, that's a difficult one. I think it's really gonna be
Mm,
contextual as far as like which one I'm operating in. But most of the time it's probably capacity. Cause like you said, I told someone just the other day, I said, call me Captain American. I could do this all day. No, I can't. I'm tired.
girl.
But I want you to think I can. What for?
Exactly. I think that is the problem for me. I fully own it. I know that I fully operate out of capacity. Um, I know now as I'm working towards a clarity piece, but I want it, like you said, Dr. Blair, like I want it to be known that hello, sis, I'm capable. I can do this. I can do it all day. Like, come for me, throw whatever you throw my way, I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna get it done because I'm a doer, right? I'm an
Yes.
overachiever,
Yes.
right? And I'm good at it. So I'm gonna do it. And yes, does it lead to exhaustion?
Every
Absolutely.
time.
Every time I'm tired, but the results is result driven. It's
Yeah.
it's the work's gonna get done. And I know we're gonna get to how this impacts our life and our lives as women and our role as, wives or mothers as a woman of faith. But I thank you all for answering that question. So honestly, yes, it is definitely a struggle. And I will say this is something that many women, I think, struggle with, right? In my mind, it makes sense day to day to say yes to the things that I'm being asked to do because I feel like I have the capacity to do it. So there's some work to be done, y'all. Yes work. That's the yes work right
That's
here.
it. right there.
If you all, because we were just talking about prayers prior to starting this recording, if you do feel like you are struggling with clarity as well as capacity, and you do feel like, and I know we use the word entanglement jokingly.
Thank you, Jada.
Thank you, Jada. Let's use it to empower, right? If you are put in the comments entanglement so we can add you to our prayer list, so we can have a collective prayer around people really being able to separate their level of strength, capacity,
Mhm.
faith even, right? Because the scripture tells us, right, that we will get increased capacity through God. That can come, right? So it doesn't feel like fatigue. But if you are struggling with what that looks like as opposed to having clarity, if it's something that you are supposed to do, ought to do,
Mhm.
should do, baby, we should all over the place, then put entanglement in the comments and let us pray for you.
Good.
Yeah.
So this is absolutely one of those areas where the intention to do something matters more than the language, right? So two people can set a boundary. One of them will be operating out of wisdom, and the other is going to be operating out of that capacity, which can sometimes kind of show up as fear, like we've talked about before, fear that something won't get done if we're not the ones to do it. And so we kind of have to take a step back and examine how we learned about this. So, were we raised to feel like we always have to be available? Where our needs didn't matter, or where, we had to serve others before we took time for ourselves. How were we raised? And for some people, it shows up as overgiving, it shows up as people pleasing. Hello. And personally, for me, it shows up as avoiding conflict. Okay, so I don't want anybody to have any sort of negative feelings. I don't want the conflict. So, what can I do to support a conflict free situation or environment? So, then for others, it could also look like shutting down, pulling back, or even handling everything alone. That whole superwoman mentality, like Dr. Blair said before, she was a weightlifter. She lifted weights. She gonna hold it together and get it done. All right, with the S across the chest. Okay. So internally, when we're in that situation, when we're in that mind space, it can really sound like, oh, if I say no, I'm letting people down, or this one right here, y'all, it's easier if I do it myself. Because
Yep.
for some of us, we would rather take the easy route and do it ourselves than to hold other people accountable.
Ooh, girl, you're talking to me.
Okay, me
So
too. Because again, I like to avoid conflict. So, excuse me, sometimes I don't hold other people accountable. Not to mention it's faster. It's quicker to do it myself than to engage in a conversation with you about your level of accountability, right? So in real life, this shows up as saying yes with resentment. I have been there, avoiding necessary conversations in the name of peace, or even being available to everyone except for myself. Your plate is only but so big. And Lady B said this, every time you give to somebody else, you have less for yourself.
Mhm. Yeah.
So over time, something will start to shift. You'll begin to recognize burnout. Me and the ladies here, we've had several conversations about how we're too grown to be feeling this way or too grown to be in these situations. And I'm sure listeners, y'all can relate. But you start to recognize the burnout. You start to recognize the cost of overextending. And the truth is that that distance it's not the same as healing. So you begin to see that clarity, that honest, direct communication is actually the most loving choice, right? Because when we have those conversations that are uncomfortable, it's going to be done out of love. But this is love for the other person, whether that's your relationship, your family, your job. This is love for the other person, but it's also love for yourself. So when those boundaries are missing, it can definitely lead to exhaustion, resentment, and losing yourself. And we don't want that to happen. When it's misused, it can create isolation, disconnection, and avoidance of growth. Please don't stunt your growth, okay? The goal isn't just to have boundaries, right? We're not just going to toss boundaries around, but we have to have aligned ones. So I really
Mhm.
want to hear from the ladies right now. When you think about your own boundaries, how can you tell if they're coming from clarity or capacity or wisdom or fear? Or you might just tell the people one way you've seen a misaligned boundary impact your relationship or your sense of self. Now, I'm giving y'all a pop quiz. My t-
I'm like, "Girl, what?"
I can do this all day.
Wow.
No.
Well, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is I absolutely first of all, I don't have boundaries. Imma just put that out there. I not because I don't know how to establish those boundaries. I will put them in place, I just don't hold them, right? I don't keep them. God, we getting personal in here, but
Are we sweating yet? Because
we
I
yeah,
have
a
been
little bit. The armpits are a little bit
on many episodes felt like I was in the hot seat.
right. But, I definitely don't do a good job of keeping, like I said, keeping those boundaries. I think early on, I was doing things out of fear. I want people to like me, right? So I'm going to avoid like the conflict, like you brought up, Dr. DQ. I'm going to just get the work done. I want to be seen in a certain way, in a certain I wanna present a certain image, at work, and so a lot of me saying yes was this whole operating out of fear. Now, I don't have the fear component anymore, I just feel capable. It is when you said that it's easier to just get things done yourself, and it is. It is 100% easier for me to just do it, and that bleeds into every aspect of my life. So, I would say in my marriage, it's easier for me to go and do the laundry or to cook dinner than to and the ladies here are shaking their heads, no.
No.
Well,
And Dr. Blair is saying no, but it's easier for me to go ahead and do it than just to ask, right? If I see something on the ground that needs to be picked up and I've already repeatedly asked, I don't I'm not a person like I've already said that. I'm not a person that gets very upset, but I'm going to just go ahead and get it done. I'm going to get it done, right? I see something needs to be done, I'm going to do it.
I feel like you kind of triggered Dr. Blair, and I commend you for your approach because after I keep asking, it is, oh, y'all just want roaches, huh? Ain't nobody see this cracker on the floor?
Now, I didn't say that remember my tongue. I didn't say I was quiet about it. I'm not quiet about it. You better believe I'm a fuss while I'm doing it.
Oh, I'm a fuss while they doing it, especially if it's my children.
Yeah.
And look, and Imma tell you about a friend of mine too, as far as, like, having those conversations is operating out of love. I had a friend of mine, one of my sorors, had her son with me while she was traveling for work. Love him to life, love his little face, and, auntie duty, I did his laundry before he went home, and I was like, "Come on, it's time to fold clothes," and he was really frustrated because he didn't know how to fold clothes. I said, "Well, you gonna learn today." And when I was talking to my friend about it, and I was like, "Yeah, we folded clothes and he didn't know how to," and I spoke to him,
Mhm.
and she was like, "Yeah, I know." She was coming from a place of it's not done to her liking, to her
Yeah.
standard, which I can understand. He was very young.
Yeah.
But I said, "Girl, you raising somebody's husband." But that's really out of love, right? Because if I, as a parent, don't equip my child with the skills that are necessary to adult, I am sabotaging him or her essentially, right? So it's out of love for myself and my boundaries, but it's also out of love for my child because I want them to be equipped when they go out into the world. I don't want my son going goo goo gaga over somebody because she can do laundry. Oh, I need
Right.
her
Can
because
do that too.
she could clean up. Right.
Yeah. I love that perspective. That is very much me. Well, as far as like cleaning, I have a certain standard. If my standards aren't met, we have a problem. And
Listen, we gonna go back to what Dr. DQ said last episode. Again, listeners, go back and listen. She said, "My home is like Home Alone, Urban Edition." Baby,
Girl, she did.
when I say I bought my kids the cute little going to the laundry piece, right? The cute little thing that they use in the store so they can flip it over and fold. I said, "Oh, they
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
fold just like,"
yeah.
baby, if you pull out them drawers right now, ain't none of them clothes folded the way that I would fold. But they in their drawers. They did it themselves and they will get better. We have to learn how, and the same as with our spouses, they don't have to do it the way that we do it. Did it get done? My kids, because I care about my kitchen too, right? Even though I told y'all when I took them 6 weeks off, I ain't do no cleaning. I know I said my kitchen was dirty, but my kitchen was not dirty. I need the listeners to know. I believe in cleanliness,
So your
bathrooms and
dirty would be a
kitchens.
different
It's
definition
a
than
different
everybody
type of
else
dirty.
Different.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes. But I had to tell my kids because I didn't like the way, they were doing the superficial like wiping of counters. And I said, okay, we struggling and doing it this way. I need you to take everything off of the counter, move it onto the table, then wipe everything down. And
Mhm.
until we can do it well without having to do that process, that's the process we just gonna do. They've been doing that process of moving everything off for at least 5 months. We're now at the point where they don't have to because they know I got to move this out the way. So you going to do it your way, but it's going to get done. And I'm going to walk away from it. Baby, we have to reframe
We do.
because I'm quick to have a conversation and say, hey, can you share with me how you contribute into this house? I'm noticing that I'm consistently having to tell you to pick up your shirt. How are you contributing? Do you like when our house is clean? Do you care? Like, mommy's not going to allow
Mhm.
you to have guests over when it looks like this. So, what are you doing to care for the Tinker home? What are you doing to care for your room? What do you like about this space? How are you keeping it? How are you holding yourself responsible? Baby, I talk to my kids like they grown. They 10 and 7, grown.
Absolutely. So I don't want the listeners to think that I am not doing, those things and having those conversations because I am. Hmm.
Who cares what they think? We care too much about what other people think. And we love our listeners. We do. But baby, keep a dirty
We
house.
do. We do care. We do care and we do care too much. Or I care too much. But anywho, I know that this is a piece of Brittany, right? I know that this is a piece of who I am and what I bring to the table, what I bring to the relationship, because that is a common conversation that myself and my husband have. And I've gotten to a much better place where I'm okay living in, whatever until somebody else does it. And now it is a shared responsibility. That was something early on, in a marriage and trying to figure those things out. But when I think about where this stuff was established, it was how I was raised, right? It was the household that I was raised in. My mom did the same thing. You go to my mom's house today, she is cooking constantly. You can eat off the floor. And so I feel some of those expectations even into my adulthood when I'm no longer even in that household. It still is like weighing on me. And so I think that that's where a lot of that overextending myself or pleasing people actually comes from. And this was like a therapy session. So I thank y'all for listening.
That it's important that we're talking about ourselves, but again, bringing it back to our listeners, we have to know what to hold on to and what to let go of as far as our enculturation and socialization process. Because if it brought your mother joy to do those things, that's very different from now I'm doing it, but it feels like a burden or it feels like a weight, right? Because she could have been floating. Some people just love clean. I can get in the zone when I'm cleaning. I'll put some music on, baby. I'm dusting and you know what I'm saying?
And I love it. Like I love cleaning. It is therapeutic for me. So yes, it is. It's therapy. And especially, oh, don't let me get into an argument. Like you I am cleaning, cleaning, cleaning. We cleaning the baseboards, the toilets, the bottom of everything. The whole house will be spick and span. So I
But
love it.
you know what I think about with that though? Who's benefiting from yes, it's therapeutic to you,
Me.
but then everybody else get the benefit of
I
it.
do.
And you
Me
tired
too.
and sore. Let's be real. I'm 41. When I get into my zone and I'm cleaning the house for 2 hours, I'm on my butt. At the end of the day, like, ooh, my SI joint. Ooh, my, I'm calling out things. I'm
Jesus.
sore the next day. For what?
It's a workout.
It's a
The workout.
workout. I ain't got no time for that. Like I'm doing Pilates. It's crazy. No.
You a mess. Well, Dr. Blair, what about you? How
You
does this impact you?
Yes. So this specifically shows up for me within my marriage. I know some listeners was like, "Listen, I've listened to some of these episodes. Blair is a real struggle in this marriage, and that's okay because I'm gonna be honest in this space." When I would get upset or when a conversation started to feel uncomfortable or too much for me, baby, when I say I lean all the way back, I could fall chair. I shut down. I d Not the big eyes. If you listeners, if you could
No,
see how these ladies.
me too. That's why I'm like, yes, I'm the one that's real quick to be like, you know what, this conversation is not going the way
Yes,
I need it to go. So I'ma just isolate.
yes. Isolate. Yes.
It's
So there's
fine. Don't worry about
right.
it. I'm
Don't worry.
good.
Yes. And retreat. And it's actually called stonewalling. I learned this through my
Mhm.
husband and I have been blessed enough to go through a number of different marriage retreats and counseling sessions. It's called stonewalling. It's when you emotionally, physically like withdraw from a conversation instead of engaging with it. So instead of working through something, baby, I avoid. And so that looked like for me, it'd be mid conversation. When I say gender roles are so switched, with me and my partner, he is the type that will initiate a conversation. He'll notice that there's tension and he'll be like, "We gonna talk about this?" And I'll be like, "What? No, I wanna talk about it. You wanna talk about it? Like, what we gotta talk about? Wait, you wanna talk? Like, that's what we gonna do?" So he's the one that will initiate. So I'm fine when I'm not. Um, we good. We can move past this. Internally, I've already shut down. I've walked away. It's been so many conversations.
Because you're now using your energy trying to move forward than trying
Mhm.
to repair or address something that you don't know is fixable.
Yes.
Let me reallocate my energy.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. And to me, it would feel like control. In my mind, I'm not escalating things. I'm not arguing. I'm not saying anything is harmful, hurtful. Like let me move on. Knowing, because y'all know I'm not gonna claim it, but I used to have that bitterness and resentment hat. That thing was a skull cap. That thing was tight. Was kind of somewhat still is. I'm working through it. God
Amen.
is working. Okay.
Definitely.
But, I'm avoiding the work. Like, let me take control. I'm ending the conversation. I'm walking away from this. I don't have the capacity when I should have had the clarity to continue to engage so we could talk about it, could, move from conflict transformation to conflict resolution. This is a new test that God has given me, and I'm failing it because I'm choosing not to engage. So, that definitely was not of God. And I thought about like how that showed up. When I say y'all, I don't know how I have any level of emotional intelligence because my mom, the only feelings you could feel were happy ones. There was no sadness, anger. Find a happy place. Think about good things. Like that was the go to. We didn't talk about emotions, period. But if there was a difficult situation, think about something happy. What is thinking about happiness going to do? And I'm over here crying and mourning because my boyfriend broke up with me or whatever, the situation is. I'm like, what are we? So then I get to this space of I'm choosing silence over really saying what I need to say. No, I'm sad. I'm frustrated. I'm whatever it is. So it creates this option to choose distance over that clarity piece. And we're calling it peace, but it's avoidance. That's
Mhm.
what it is. And the weight is huge, right? You think about how it impacts you. Again, the bitterness, the resentment that builds up, it impacts the marriage. It creates this distance. It doesn't allow us to build real connection. It creates confusion because there have been, again, honesty times where I'm like, this shouldn't be this hard. This supposed to
Right.
be light work. So, there's this unspoken tension then because in my mind, I'm setting a boundary.
and protecting my capacity and my bandwidth. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm not going back to it. So it just really created this internal pressure for me. It created these feelings that I couldn't fully understand or express. And then I'm replaying the conversation in my head. I'm building narratives. We start telling a whole story to ourselves instead of just taking opportunity to have some clarity and just having that true bond that I'm supposed to have with my partner, that true relationship and true transparency. Transparency is something we also didn't talk about in our home. So I didn't know what I don't like vulnerability. That thing feel icky. So I would avoid it. And I really had to ask myself again, where did it come from? Where did I learn it? And it's not all on my mama, because again, we choose what pieces of our past we are going to hold on to. But I
Mhm.
realized that avoiding conflict doesn't keep things at peace, especially internally for me. So boundaries are really not about shutting down. It's really about, how do I show up honestly? If I'm saying this is a boundary for me, like, let's not argue in the bedroom, or let's not do it at the end of the day because I'll be done. Like, physically, mentally, emotionally, I'm done. That is me tapping into clarity around what I need to be open and willing to have a conversation. That's a true boundary. Like, I need to be in this space to thrive, to do this thing, to engage in this way, versus saying like, I'm protecting my peace. I'm not engaging anymore. I'm done with this conversation. So this was a beautiful reflection for me, because I'm thinking I'm protecting my peace and I'm stern on these boundaries, but I was protecting my avoidance. I was protecting
Mm.
what's comfortable to me, and I'm saying was because I'm 'cause Imma manifest that, hallelujah.
Amen.
But that thing, she come up every once in a while. She come up.
Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
I can definitely relate to some of the examples you gave when it comes to dealing with conflict with people. But when I was really thinking about how this showed up for me as far as boundaries, I thought about when I first started teaching. I was right out of college. So I went from classes and assignments and completing them immediately to being on the other side of the teacher's desk. Y'all, I used to work 12-hour days as a beginning teacher. Taught high school, I would get there about 6:30, and sometimes I wouldn't leave till 6 in the evening, and sometimes I still took work home. My boundaries were non-existent, right? I was raised to get the job done, and I was raised to do everything extremely well, excellence, right? We've talked about that. But back then, excellence took me longer than it does now, okay? And I was actually afraid to be away from work. So, this whole sense of self, and I had the idea that stuff would fall apart if I wasn't there. I didn't even wanna leave the school to go get lunch off campus. So it legit felt like it was harder for me to be out of work than for me to go to work. Like, the stress I felt with contemplating taking time off that I had earned was astronomical. So y'all, PSA, please appreciate your teachers. Please, they do a lot. They spend a lot of time. But this kind of contributed to burnout. But one example that I regret to this day, I was so dedicated to my job and I was so under the belief that stuff could not function without me. I was so under the belief that preparation and getting my class settled was the priority, that when my grandmother passed, I got the phone call before the crack of dawn that morning. I went to the school and I
Oh.
got my lesson plans together for my class.
Mm.
And in hindsight, I'm like, Dr. DQ, what in the world? But that
Mm.
was where my mind was. I had no boundaries. I did not have the ability to say, forget y'all. I just had a death in the family. Y'all figure that out. So it was bad. It took some time over the years. I got better. Ultimately, I grew into the mindset that me giving that much to my job meant I was sacrificing myself, and I couldn't do that anymore. I just couldn't. I had to let it go. I had to let that go. I'm only one person. Before I give you that much of my time, first of all, y'all wasn't paying me enough. Let's start there. But before I give
Message.
you that much of my time, I need something for me. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We always just
That
we
is
just
good.
giving We giving so much realness. I'm really proud of us. Again, this is just a reflection of how we may be called to do this work in this podcast, to pray for people, to share our stories, etc. This is work that we are doing in we reflecting, we are building awareness, we are building closeness to God. We're seeing shifts and transformations in ourselves. And so I just take this moment to just say I'm proud of us.
I am too. What really stands out to me when we are talking about choosing clarity, um, or if we're choosing capacity, when you really think about it, the truth requires you to choose yourself. Operating with clarity requires you to choose yourself too. And so many times we put ourselves last. And that's what is standing out to me from what everyone is saying. We put ourselves last and we have to put a stop to it.
Yeah, I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
And I'm tired.
I'm tired of it. It's my turn.
Tired. Yes, it is. It is.
It's our season.
Yes,
Mhm.
it is.
Every new year, I say, "This my year." No, for real this time. This my year.
2027 is absolutely going to be your year.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
can
how you
claim
skip over
that.
the rest of 2027? Are you come listen now, this the second time. This the second episode. I done said, "Okay, Dr. Blair, speak it. Tell me, give me some intel."
Now
Okay.
you better receive. You done asked for the intel and I done gave it to you, and now you over here questioning it. I think fully you're coming into it. 7, you are going to be in awe of what God is about to do in your life.
I received that. Thank you, Lord.
It is going to be a testimony where it's like, this wasn't even, I didn't even write this down as a goal or something that I thought I wanted in my family or in my life. And yeah. So I stand firm on my 2027.
Thank you, Lord. I take it. I accept it. I receive it. You ain't even got to package that and put a bow on it. It's already signed, sealed, and delivered. Thank you. Come on, 2026. Let's go.
Okay, listen, it's darn near halfway gone already. I feel like it's gone. I wanna reframe this with God at the center and the forefront. I think that when we think about boundaries, we think about shutting people out. We think that being nice means that we always have to be available and saying yes to people. We think that yes equals obedience. We think that avoiding conflict is peace. And the reframe, right, when we put God at the center is that we need to have discernment. We are reacting to the things that are coming in front of us and before us and not pausing for that clarity piece. We're seeking that distance and putting our arm out and stretching it out and saying, like, that's me setting the boundary. But what is God really calling us to do? What is your responsibility for your capacity, for your choices? And think about how your community requires that level of honesty and transparency. When I think about what my family expects of me, my friends, my job, it's not performative. I feel like they want a full investment, a full dedication to the work, to them. They want to see that saliency and that level of like genuine desire to do it. So when we are using boundaries as a scapegoat, really, right? Because again, I want to present this way, I want to do this thing, or I want to create this distance, then it's not honoring the communities that we're a part of. So I want to just give you those nuggets, listeners, right? And ourselves as well, of what that looks like. And when we think about how we ground this spiritually, Matthew 5:37, and oh baby, I love this. Give me a shirt. Let your yes be yes and yo no, no. Baby, I've said this before. Clarity is clear. It's in the core, the root of the word. Be clear with your yes. It is honesty being actualized in your life. When you say no, don't give well, I could.
no, and then have that period. I've talked about this, how my son writes his periods. They be big old circles at the end of his sentences. Put a big old circle at the end of your no, period. Galatians 6:5. Each one should carry their own load. Not everything is yours to hold. Teach your children how to fold their clothes.
Mhm.
Tell them to pick up them crackers.
Mhm.
Tell your colleague that don't do their job. Had that honest conversation with them to say, hey, I just want to hold you accountable of something that I feel like is a part of your role in this work that we do in this organization. Baby, put it in the words you need to, but this is not yours. So to clarify for you all, boundaries don't mean that you stop caring. It doesn't mean that you're avoiding the hard things. It doesn't mean that you want to disconnect from people. What it means is that you're going to stop carrying the things that were never assigned to you. You looking like Erica Badu. You a bag lady. Put them bags down. They're
Don't.
not yours. Mm.
You gon' hurt your back.
Okay?
Dragging all them bags.
And that's what it
Like
is.
Like
You're
that.
that.
not even looking strong. You dragging the bags.
Mm.
Putting holes in them and everything.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
I swear I am soaking this all up because this is back to the strong women, right? We are strong, capable women, and we always say that, and we are carrying heavy loads that are not ours to carry. I love what you said, Dr. Blair. Let your yes be clear. Let it be clear. Oh my God. I love it. So, oh, listeners, I thank y'all for just hanging tough with us. Like, I appreciate that because you laugh with us, you cry with us. It's an emotional roller coaster. And I know that many of you might be in the situation and place that we are in and have experienced some of the same things that we have. And so we know that you may have been noticing some of these same things in your life too. Like you're always busy, but you're still behind. Hello. You playing catch up all the time at work, at home. You just busy, 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 and you just can't catch up. You may feel like you are saying yes, but you feeling stretched right after. You gotta go find Lady B's cocoa butter somewhere because those stretch marks. Yeah, that Palmer's. Or you may be feeling like you just don't have the space for yourself. So maybe you feel like you need to find adequate space, the right space for you to be who you fully desire to be. Or you're constantly thinking about what's next. And we talked about this in one episode early on about our seasons that we are in and operating within your season. You also may be thinking you don't even know what you need anymore because you're so used to meeting everybody else's needs. And if we're being real, you're not just tired, you are overextended. And it didn't happen overnight, it happens one yes at a time. So let your yes be clear.
Absolutely. Let your yes be clear and your no's be no's. Like my sisters have already said, I just want to add, make sure that when you say no, it's okay to say it with a smile. No, I won't be able to do that. I'm real good with sentence stems. Put a message if you want some. We've talked about boundaries, and ladies, boundaries are healthy. They are intentional, they are necessary. We're just asking you to take some time and examine the why behind them. Does that boundary exist for clarity or for distance? Is it clarity or is it capacity? So, as you're reflecting this week, we got to give you something to think about, right? So, we want you guys to think about where in your life you might be overextending and why. Examine that why, pray for guidance, pray for clarity. Also, consider asking yourself, where am I pulling back instead of communicating? Are you doing like some of us have expressed here, where you shut down, you clam up, you'd rather redirect that energy? Examine that. And also ask yourself, what would it look like to be clear instead of accommodating? Because we can be very, very accommodating instead of actually just establishing that boundary. So, your yes this week might be to have one honest conversation instead of avoiding it. For example, you say, "Oh, babe, you didn't get to cut the grass?" Oh, and keep it moving. Like when you hit them with that, oh, and walk away. That's it.
I'm gonna try that this week.
Oh, baby, toss it right at the end. Oh, end the conversation. Keep it moving.
Oh my gosh, y'all hear that? Say, "Oh." So I'm gonna let y'all know how that goes next week. So
Please.
and we want you all to let us know how it goes this week as well. So we encourage you to practice some of these tips that we give. We want you to go into the comment section. Don't forget to put that entanglement if you are looking for prayer, but also just keep us posted on what's going on in your lives and what are you saying yes to because we want to be a part of that. So if this conversation today brought something up for you, or if it just, it hit a little different, because let me tell y'all, I'm sitting over here in my recliner and it hit me. I just want you to know you are absolutely not alone. A lot of us are learning these boundaries in real time, and we are operating without a clear model for what it looks like to be both present and aligned. There's no model out there, y'all. We are learning this day by day. You just have to practice that daily obedience, and God will continue to order your steps as you become more aligned with him. So just practice it. Just trust us. So if this episode also helped you think differently, we want you to share this with someone who's navigating the same thing. We encourage you to get groups of women together if you're even talking to a therapist, a counselor, psychologist, any of those things, we encourage you, bring these sessions, bring these topics to the forefront because I know that they may hit a little differently. They may trigger some emotions, and it's important that you continue these conversations. We hope that this space has been meaningful for you. As always, follow us, give us a rating, share some reviews, give a testimonial so we can share some of the great things right here on our podcast. And it also helps this work reach more women doing this level of reflection. So we just thank you all for being here with us doing the yes work.
Yes, because if there was a model, Dr. Blair would have found it.
It's gonna be the year that I break every cycle. Let me testify right hand on the Bible. I was tripping, chasing every empty title. Now I'm locked